Thursday, October 2nd, Marinaro, the Sick Podcast. Of course, the Canadiens played a couple of nights ago in Quebec City. And of course, they have everyone talking about their lines at practice earlier today. And now everyone's starting to say, don't tell me that that's the fifth line. Don't tell me that those players are going to be out of the lineup. Is the fourth line really the fourth? Is it really the fifth? What's going on? What's going on here? We're going to discuss it. There's a lot to talk about. Nick Cloutier wants to talk about the Canadiens lines. He wants to talk about a comparable for Oliver Kapanen, the value on the marketplace for Jayden Struble, who, based on what we're seeing and what we're hearing, finds himself as the number 7 on opening night. Chances are he would not be in the lineup. Mind you, we'll see what happens between now and next week, Wednesday, when the Montreal Canadiens open up their season in Toronto. Between now and then, there's only one preseason game left, when the Canadiens host the Ottawa Senators on Saturday night. We'll discuss all of this with Nicolas Cloutier of TVA Sport coming up on the Sick Podcast.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your number 1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K, 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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lanier, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement, et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Coupe Stanley pour les Canadiens, leur 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida TV. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast. Thanks for watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And the Sick Podcast is brought to you by La Bittt at Tibi. They launched their new Ultra Lager, as you know by now, but I keep spreading the word because it's becoming more and more popular. Refreshing, thirst-quenching beer, perfect for the cool fall days. Only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can, available in a pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. It's ultra light and ultra refreshing. Also brought to you in part by another one of our partners, Playground. Hungry for a deal? Eat well at Playground without breaking the bank. Mondays, sink your teeth into a juicy 12-ounce ribeye steak with all the fixings for just $19. Tuesdays, dive into an all-you-can-eat Asian experience for only $25. Wednesdays, savor a 6-ounce bacon wrap filet mignon with dessert for just $30. Thursdays, lobster surf and turf, only $22. And Fridays, at lunch, get any sandwich, burger, pizza, or main for just $7. It's delicious. It's outrageous. Visit playground.ca for more details. And also brought to you in part by one of our first ever sponsors ever, along with Energy Transportation Group, Energy Transportation Group, I should say, along with the Geloso Beverage Group. Energy Transportation Group, they're a leading asset-light 3PL that's driven to be different. From cross-border freight between Canada, United States, and Mexico to coast-to-coast shipping in both Canada and the United States, Energy moves it all fast, reliable, powered by tech that delivers smarter logistics. If you need a real partner in transportation, contact them at sick@shipenergy.com and see how Energy Transportation Group is changing the freight game. Without further ado, my guest tonight from TVA Sport, Nicolas Cloutier. Comment vas-tu? How are you, my friend?
Tony, I'm just so pumped for the season to start and get going.
I think we all are in our business, and I think all of the fans are as well, in what is shaping up to be, I think, a pretty exciting season for the Montreal Canadiens. Why are we saying that? Because they have a lot of exciting players. That's one way to look at it, for sure. But look, after that game a couple of nights ago in Quebec City, the preseason game in which the Canadiens shut out the Ottawa Senators, but it was a game that was much talked about because of the physicality, because of some cheap shots, because of some fisticuffs. A couple of days later, Canadiens Universe and their fans are talking about lines at practice. What are the lines? Let's bring them up. And I got this chart from TVA Sport earlier this evening.
What a nice touch, Tony.
Yes, which displayed, of course, on GC Show at TVA Sport Monday to Friday at 5 to 7 p.m. I'm a regular at 5:30 p.m. And I thank GC and LP Neveu for the opportunity, of course, given just over 3 years ago now. The first line stays intact. Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky. Here's where it starts to get interesting. Every other line that we're looking at is either newly assembled or the Kapanen and Demidov Newhook line was assembled last game. So this is the first time we're seeing Doc, Bolduc, and Gallagher. We saw Kapanen and Demidov and Newhook last game. It's the first time we're seeing Beck, Liney, and Veleno. And then you have a rotation between Florian Jacquet and Jake Evans, and you have Blais and Anderson. The thing that sticks out to me, and there's so many things that stick out. First of all, okay, let's take turns. Name me one thing that sticks out to you.
Well, the one thing that sticks out to me, Tony, is that aside from the first line, the only line that will hold up for the first game of the season, October 8th, is the third. So Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, it's set in stone, in my opinion.
You don't think Suzuki, Slafkovsky, and Caulfield set in stone, or did I misunderstand?
I said aside.
Aside from that. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
Obviously, yeah.
So that's the first thing that stands out for you. There's something that stands out for me.
Okay.
Patrick
Liney on the fourth?
Patrick Liney has dropped in depth chart. By the way, you call it the fourth. I don't even know if that's a fourth.
I mean, those are even lines. I mean, you have to throw a lineup for the last game. That's how I see it. And so clearly, if you ask me, Tony, Bolduc, Duck and Liney will play together.
Okay,
The
but
third would be
please
a
stop
Duck.
here if you don't mind. Please stop here. Please stop here if you don't mind. I'm not finished wanting to play this game. So I asked you what stands out, and you said, well, what stands out to me is aside
Line.
from the first line,
Yeah.
I think the Kapanen and Demidov Newhook line will start game 1 in Toronto. I said perfect. So then I said, what stands out to me is how much Patrick Liney has dropped in the depth chart that we're seeing
Okay.
in practice. Now,
So
I
you
want to
think
go
he has
back to you.
dropped?
I want to
So
go
you-
back to you.
Yeah.
What else stands out to you? We'll keep on playing this game until we stop with things that have stood out to us.
Well, Florin's still there.
Perfect.
He's gonna have one last go at it. So to me, that means they still want to see something from him. Like they're not done evaluating him. So if they were done, they wouldn't have played him. They would have sent him back at this point because Laval's training camp has started already. So they will lose this time.
What stands out to me, and we'll break every single thing that we say that stands out
Sure.
over the next 15, 20 minutes here. But what stands out to me is that when Joe Veleno was signed, we assumed that he was going to be a center, and he might still very well be. But today at practice, he's on the wing.
Yep.
Last game, he was on the wing. So we'll discuss what that means once again a little bit later on. So, is there something else that stands out to you?
Let me look. Not on defense.
I can
Not
help
on
you
defense.
out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brendan Gallagher has been given a promotion vis-a-vis where he was 1 week ago.
Yeah, but I get it. To me, it's not a promotion though. Like it's not like to me, Liney on the fort is not a demotion either.
Okay. Anything else stand out? They still want to see Beck. Beck is centering the line.
I was gonna say because you were saying you were gonna go back on Veleno.
Yeah.
To me, it's not about Veleno as much as it is about we have one last game to figure out how Beck fares as a centerman. Because if you pencil in Veleno in your lineup to start the season, you're not in evaluation mode with Joe Veleno, and you very much are with Beck. You very much are with Florian Jacquard. That's why I don't put too much in these. Like you're talking about a promotion to Gallagher, a demotion to Liney. I don't put stock in that, but I do put stock in what the Habs are trying to see for that one last game. And clearly, they're trying to know how because he's been used on the wing as well, Owen Beck. But now they're like, okay, so we have one last game to evaluate things. Let's see how he does as a center now.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If Beck has the game of his life on Saturday, will it be enough?
No. Kapanen is a Montreal Canadian, Tony.
So why do you think Beck's still around?
Because they have an opportunity. So look, as you know, during these kind of games, you don't like the lineup is not full of NHLers. But as we're gearing towards the beginning of the season, at the end of these training camps, you see more NHLers in these lineup. So in the last game, Saturday against the Sanders, you still have a chance to see how Beck fares against what really closely resembles NHL competition. I'm not going to say, Tony, it's NHL competition, but it's closer to what it is in the AHL, right? Do we agree on that? So it's still a nice sample. It's still a nice sample to have if you're evaluating what you have as a prospect.
40% of the team will be NHLers, correct?
So that's 40% more than an NHL lineup.
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
So, but to me, there's not really a race because even if you go 14 forwards, so I have Blais making the Habs. You agree with me, right?
I think that if you're going 14-7-2, which all indications seem that they're going that way, the most ideal player to have at 14 is a player that you will not stunt their development because they're in an advanced age. They've already hit their ceiling, will be a great veteran, will not be a nuisance to the team, will be a great locker room guy, will encourage his teammates, will be ready when called upon, will give you everything he has, will never complain. Blais is the ideal number
Wow.
14.
And you're a smart man. That's why they pay you the big bucks. He's the perfect. He's the perfect last forward. So Tony, like I can tell you right away, like Blais is not going to play 82 games this season, but you need him in your lineup to bring some kind of energy one night. Well, he's perfect. You do not need to develop Samuel Blais.
You need him to be the great team guy that Michael Pezzetta was, and never a nuisance and never a bother, and always a breath of fresh air in the locker room.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's exactly what you need. So now it begs the question. 13. I think Florian Jacki impressed everyone last game and showed his utility. He stood up for his teammates. He sent messages. He dropped the gloves a couple of times. He did really well. I think everyone can recognize how hungry he is to make this team and how much he wants it. And he probably wants it more than most, probably more than others.
Okay. Let me just say one thing.
Sure.
All the things you've mentioned about Florian Jacki were not hockey plays. So I think he's had a good camp. He showed what he can bring to the Canadiens, and they want more sandpaper in their lineup. They want more toughness. He showed during the camp that he can bring that. But he has another gear with the puck. We did not see Florian Jacki make a lot of plays with the puck during camp, and he can. He's shown that in Laval. That's why you still need to develop this guy, and he's not going to do that in Montreal.
Correct, because if you have him in Montreal, you know what he's going to be? He'll be a dump and chase kind of player. Yes. And I'm not so sure they play that way. Now, look, I like the way you're thinking tonight, and I think we're both very high on Florian Jacki. I actually think he has an interesting ceiling that I haven't figured out yet, but there's something there. I think he could be a very, very useful NHL player one day. Can he not look at a place every now and then? Or yes, but I think we have to look long-term. Some will say it's about making the Canadiens a better, more complete team right away. He needs to make the team because he fills a hole that they don't have, and he brings a strength that they don't have to their team. I get all of that. But I also think that if they can develop him more, the benefit that they'll get over in the future will outweigh what he can bring in the short term. And I'm going to take it a step further. I've said this over the last couple of days, so I apologize for those who are watching for being redundant. And I also said it last night to Gilbert Delorme, Max Lapierre, and Pascal Leclerc. We were all together on La Poche Bleue. And I said, if I sit down for an espresso with Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon, Marty St. Louis, and we're talking hockey, which has never happened, by the way, but that's okay.
Are you sure?
And if I sit down with them in a nice little Italian cafe, or let's just say we're at Cafe Milano's, and I say to them, guys, where do you see Florian Jacki on your team filling a role? And they all look at me and they say, fourth line, our 12th forward. I will see the benefit of him being with the big club, Adam Nicholas working with him, practicing with NHL players every day, playing versus NHL players. But if they tell me he'll be a 13 and he'll end up playing 2 games of every 6, I'll say send them to Laval and make him play every game.
Yes, exactly. Because you know what? Florian Jacki is not someone you only want banging bodies. He has underrated skills. He can shoot the puck. He scored 20 goals last year. He has hockey sense. He can make plays on the ice. And I love the fact that he brought toughness in this camp. I don't like as much the fact that he did not really touch the puck. And that's why, to me, he needs to develop in Laval, because he has another gear with the puck that he can show at the NHL level. What you want in Florian Jacki is for him to become the next Adam Lowry. Not a fourth-line player per se, like someone that can actually play on the third line. That, to me, would be a ceiling. So I wouldn't want to limit him to just a guy that bangs bodies and intimidates the opposite.
I'll take it a step further. Adam Lowry has centered one of the most effective third lines in hockey for several years now with the Winnipeg Jets. But Adam Lowry has the ability to fill in as a second-line centerman from time to time and be able to get the job done.
Yeah.
To be able to do that and you're throwing out a player's name that Pascal Vincent, the head coach of the Laval Rocket, has used as a comparable, as someone that he thinks Florian Jacquet can be, development is of the essence here.
Of course. And I wouldn't just throw that name around if that name was not discussed internally. If Pascal Vincent mentioned that on one of your shows, Tony, it's because internally the Habs actually think that's a projection. And they didn't call him a unicorn for nothing. Like players like Adam Lowry, they don't come around very often because they're really freaking useful to a hockey team, especially in the playoffs. You need those type of guys if you want to win, if you want to go through the grind of playoff hockey and win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. All right, okay. So now, Joe Veleno, let's talk about him. We know a few things. He was talking with the Montreal Canadiens during the offseason. There were a couple of teams that inquired. The Montreal Canadiens, it took them a while for them to be able to be sold. At one point, they said, okay, you know what? A one-year deal at $900,000. Joe Veleno has told us that the Canadiens made no promises from the beginning. And you know what? It came in. He was training with the Canadiens even before signing. It looked like, you know what? He may have had chemistry with some players. It was a little bit up, it was a little bit down, a little bit up. A couple of games ago in Toronto on Saturday night last week, he was 70% in the circle after losing 8 of 13 draws the game before. And then all of a sudden, he didn't produce. He didn't pick up any goals, didn't pick up any assists, no points, was a -1. But more and more people in our business were on social media saying, okay, Joe Veleno made the Montreal Canadiens. All right, Joe Veleno definitely showed that he's an NHL player. Unfortunately for Joe, last game, he was just average.
Yeah.
And average is not going to be good enough. And Oliver Kapanen was above average. And according to most, Oliver Kapanen has now moved ahead of Joe Veleno.
He was always ahead, Tony.
He was always ahead.
Now, you saw during the scrimmages, just at the start of camp, like the position they put Kapanen in. That should have told you. The Canadiens are very high on Oliver Kapanen, Tony. And this is the guy that played playoffs games against the Capitals last year. So that tells you a lot. That tells you where he is in the depth chart.
Yeah.
So it's not that Joe Veleno. I think, by the way, Joe Veleno has had a great camp. And I think Joe Veleno has very intriguing tools. And when he was actually
I don't know if he's had a great camp. I'll say he's had a good camp.
Well, he's had one very, very, very good game. And the other games were average to good.
Okay. I hear you.
I would give him a 7.5 for his camp.
Listen, I like Joe. And before the camp started, I have to admit, and I shared this opinion, I said, I think Joe has an advantage on Oliver Kapanen. Not that he's better, and not that he has a higher ceiling, because I don't think he does. Because after 6 years in the National Hockey League, I don't know how much higher Joe can go and how much more he can develop. Oliver Kapanen, I think, can be a player in the National Hockey League that will produce more points than Joe Veleno has since he's been in the National Hockey League. But the advantage that I thought that Veleno had was seeing as there's so many young players on this team. Demidov, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Doc, Hudson, Gooley, Struble, Jacquet, list goes on and on. Veleno's 308 NHL games, and I think it's 308. I keep saying that number. I think it's that, but his over 300 games in the National Hockey League, his 5 or 6 years in the National Hockey League, I thought would prove to be a big advantage over Kapanen because the Canadiens can't have all young players. They need to add some experience. But Kapanen has shown me that he's had a better camp / preseason than Veleno thus far. And Kapanen is the only center thus far that has had chemistry, obvious chemistry with Demidov because, quite frankly, Doc and Liney did not. That line did not. Last time they played together, I think they were -9. They never touched the puck.
True. And Kapanen and Demidov, man, they find each other on the ice.
They find each
other.
other.
People would notice, Tony, because at the start of camp, everybody was saying how vanilla Kapanen was and how they couldn't figure out his identity as a player because he doesn't hit like a truck or doesn't stick and draw through 1,000 sticks. But like they're gonna see his value, Tony. This guy is very smooth in transition. He has high hockey IQ. He has an underrated shot. He knows exactly where to be on the ice. This is an NHLer to me. So, like St. Louis has this saying, like there are players that play hockey and they are hockey players. Like Kapanen is a hockey player to me, and it's quite obvious. So, but Veleno still has value because.
Okay, perfect. But you open the door here, and so I want to go down this avenue.
Yeah,
you just told me there are players that play hockey and there are hockey players. And then you looked at me and you said, Tony, Kapanen's a hockey player.
Yeah.
Is Veleno a hockey player or a player who plays hockey? I want to have your opinion, and I want you to tell me why you say what you say.
I'm on the fence. I don't.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because to be a hockey player for me, you have to be able to tell me I know exactly where you fit in the NHL lineup. I don't know where Joe Veleno fits in an NHL lineup right now. Like, what does he do for you? Is he an offensive player because he has tools offensively? Is he a defensive player because he still has sense? He has experience too. But which one is he, and what is he gonna do for you?
This is what I think Joe Veleno has to do. You ready?
Yeah.
I think he has to take a look at Jake Evans's game.
Oh yeah.
And I think
Great point.
And I think he has to say to himself, it doesn't matter that I got exceptional status when I was 15.
Yeah.
The past doesn't matter. What matters is the present, and what matters is the future. Joe Veleno is playing his NHL career this year. Let's put the cards on the table. He has a very good year. If it's not going to be with the Montreal Canadiens, he'll be playing for someone else. He does not have a good year. He could end up in Russia. He could end up in Switzerland.
Yeah, that's
this is a make it or break it year for his career. So what he needs to do is say, okay, if I haven't become an offensive player after so many years in the National Hockey League, I need to find a chair, as Marty St. Louis likes to call it, and I need to be really, really good at something. If that means becoming a 58% in the draws.
Yes, he needs to be very good at face-offs. Yes.
I'm going to take it a step further. He not only needs to be very good at face-offs, he needs to end up becoming a very good penalty killer.
Yes.
He needs to become a very good 200-foot player, and he needs to become a reliable player that if his team is up by a goal in a final minute of any period, especially the last one, his coach has to feel comfortable putting him out there. And if he can do that and accomplish that, he's going to be able to play many, many, many more years in the National Hockey League.
And let me tell you, Tony, you're absolutely right. And Joe Veleno might as well just have a role once there's an injury, because the Canadiens, they will see value in the fact that he can play both wing and center. So let's say, okay, Gallagher gets injured. Veleno slots in left wing with Evans and Anderson. Jake Evans is a righty. Faceoff is on the left side. Veleno takes the faceoff. The Canadiens, St. Louis loves that setup because look at the lines that will be playing opening night. So you're gonna see Doc. Budzik will be at his left. Doc will take the right faceoff. Budzik will take the left faceoff. Kapanen and Newhook. Left faceoff, that's Newhook. Right faceoff, Kapanen and you're up. It's gonna be all over the lineup. The Canadiens, they didn't have a lot of lefties playing center besides Christian Dvorak last year. That was an issue, situationally at least. It's not going to be anymore. So that will be very interesting. And that could make Veleno useful if there's an opening. But like you said, he has to find his niche. He has to find his utility as a player.
Going to take it a step further. if Joe Veleno sits out and he's your 13th forward, but he's very good in practice and he keeps himself ready to go and prepared, it's going to force Doc Kapanen to be better.
Yes.
Because they can't go, let's just say they go into extended slumps. And their extended slumps result in the Canadiens losing 3-4 games in a row. Marty St. Louis is going to change the lineup, and he's going to give Joe Veleno an opportunity. And if Veleno gets an opportunity, and let's just say his next 2-3 games are very good, he's not going to change his lineup. So having a guy like that, and you know what? It might end up being a blessing. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Joe Veleno wants to start.
No, I follow you.
It might end up being a
toes.
blessing. Not only keeps everyone on their toes and a blessing for the Canadiens, but also for a guy like Veleno, it could force him to work harder than he's ever worked before. It could be good for everybody.
Yes. And the stakes are very high, like you said, for Veleno. So this guy's going to work like a horse this season.
You talked about Oliver Kapanen, and I want to talk to you about him because
Yes.
you sent me a note earlier today, and you said, I have a comparable, and you didn't tell me who it was, and I'm going to ask you in a minute. But before I do, I want to talk about our sponsors. And so far, I mentioned to you Bittt Tibi, and I mentioned to you Playground, and I mentioned to you Energy Transportation Group. I also want to give a shout out to Fruiterie Dollard. I live in Villasal. They're a family-run business. They're a mainstay in the LaSalle community since 1995. They opened in 95, and when they opened, I was a client there, a customer there, and I still am. I go, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty much there every Saturday. Every time they see me, they're like, Tony never fails. You're here on Saturdays. Proud to continue offering the same fresh foods and flavors they have for the past 30 years. From fresh fruits and produce delivered daily to an ever-expanding assortment of deli meats, cheeses, and sandwiches, you'll find personalized service and friendly faces that make you feel like family. Also, if you want to get in on the action, any sport, Major League Baseball playoffs, National Hockey League around the corner, soccer being played worldwide, the NFL is going on, of course. Basketball is around the corner. Go all the way with Betway. Get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section. To create an account, redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. Offer is not available in Ontario. Must be 18 years of age and older. Please play responsibly. Oliver Kapanen.
Okay.
Who's your comparable?
So I'm going to give a heads up to Shane. Shane, please go on Panthers Hockey DB because I'm going to mention the name in a few seconds. So,
Anton Lundell.
No.
No.
So people ask me, Tony, why I'm hired on Kapanen than most. Because I've been following this guy since his breakout in the Liga in 2022. And back in 2022, when I talked to his coach in Finland, he told me, this is who Oliver Kapanen is. Oliver Kapanen is a more offensive version of Eetu Luostarinen.
Yep.
2-time Stanley Cup winner. He's a left shot, though my new Kapanen is a righty. He's a center that can also play wing. Very good two-way player.
Yeah.
Has an offensive touch. So he scored. Now he's been moved to the wing with the Panthers. But his best season was a couple of years ago when he scored 17 goals and around 43 points.
Yeah.
And that to me is Oliver Kapanen as a player down the road. Around 40, 45 points, defensively sound, and can chip in with some goals.
That's an interesting name, by the way, because of course
both played with Kalpa, by the way, in the league.
Yes, and you saw him play with several players, but for the most part, you saw him play on a line. Remember when I mentioned Lundell? He was the winger on Lundell's line.
Lundell was playing with Luostarinen that year, you mean?
Yes.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't remember that.
A couple of years ago, he did. And then, as a matter of fact, was he not playing with... well, he played with Bennett as well. Look, Florida,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of players that play with everyone, right? So think about this: Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett at center, Lundell at center, Evan Rodriguez at center, Marchand and Kachuk on the wings. But for the most part, with everyone healthy, third line player Luostarinen, but on a Stanley Cup team. So if he's not on a Stanley Cup team, maybe finds himself on the second line on another team. Good player, no doubt about it. Good player.
And he's easy to play with. Like Martin Saint-Louis says Kapanen is predictable, but when he says that, he means it as a compliment. And that's why he gels with Demidov right now. Because Demidov just takes the puck, he makes the plays, he creates. And Kapanen is such an easy player to play with because you know exactly where he's going to be on the ice.
Yeah.
So for a guy like Demidov right now, he's perfect. Is he the most talented player you can play with Demidov? He's not. He's the best player you can play with. Like Laine, it didn't quite work out. Like aside from the power play, Doc, it didn't quite work out with Demidov. Like the best player for Demidov right now is Oliver Kapanen, and that's why to me, Oliver Kapanen is the lock to make this roster.
So when you said that, in all transparency, everyone saw me looking at my phone. What I was doing was I was bringing up Eetu Luostarinen's hockey DB. I've sent it over to Shane Gaumont and Master Control as fast as he can bring it up and upload it. He's going to put it. Look at this guy. This guy's the best. All right, here it is. A center who shoots left. He can play both center and left wing. From Finland, 27 years old, 6'3". He's under 200 pounds. He's a former second-round pick, 42nd overall by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Both second-round picks. They're both okay. So Kapanen is 6'2", Luostarinen is 6'3", but around the same weight. One shoots left, the other shoots right. But I mean, lots of similarities, Tony.
Let's just bring back Luostarinen for one more second, if we can. Okay, you're right. They both played for Kalpa. In Liga, and Luostarinen, after playing 8 games with the Carolina Hurricanes, has played the last 5 seasons with the Florida Panthers.
Yes.
And his career high was back in 2022-2023 when he scored 17 goals and had 43 points. Last season,
and he played center that year, Tony.
Last season, he only had 24 points in 80 games. But you know what's impressive? His 5 goals, 14 assists, 19 points in 23 games.
Yes. Huge playoffs for him.
Huge playoffs for him.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Oliver Kapanen now. One's 27, Kapanen's 22. One's 6'3", Kapanen is 6'2". They're both natural centermen. Luostarinen shoots left. Oliver Kapanen shoots right. They both played in Kalpa, in La Liga, of course. And Oliver Kapanen has played just 18 games at the National Hockey League level, had a couple of assists. But last year, in 11 playoff games with the Laval Rocket, he had 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points.
And point per game in the SHL, too, which is an awesome league.
Pierre Maguire's talked about that. Pierre joined me after Tuesday night's Habs Senators game, and along with Maxime Lapierre. And he said, do you know how tough it is to put up 35 plus points in Liga? It's very tough. So having done that, what do you think his offensive point potential is in the National Hockey League, Nick Cloutier?
So his coach told me back in 2022, more offensive version of Luostarinen. He actually told me his hockey sense is better than Luostarinen's. Wow. So Luostarinen, like he had some 20-point season as well, squeezed between like a 43-point season. So Kapanen, to me, he's a guy that can put up 40 points consistently. Luostarinen does not do that, like you saw, like his 43 points and 17 goals was his best. But I think Kapanen, he's a guy that consistently, year after year, while being very, very sound defensively, mind you, can put up 40 to 45 points and 15 to maybe in his career year, 20 goals.
That's it. Listen, the coach knows both the players like the back of his hand, right?
Oh yeah, and they both played in Kalpa, so he was very familiar with both of them.
That's an interesting comparable, Nick. That's a very listen.
Yeah.
If Oliver Kapanen ends up becoming an A2 Luostarinen with even more offensive upside, I think Kent Hughes and Jeff
So you
Gordon they're going to be very, very happy with that.
Like if I offer you that right now, like in
I
5
sign.
years, Tony,
I
he's
sign.
better,
I sign. I
you
take
sign
it.
right away, right?
I sign right
We
away.
agree. We agree.
Because that player is so responsible and his coach is comfortable putting him with anyone in any situation at any time of the game. That's priceless, my friend. That's priceless.
Yeah, you're right. And if I'm objective, Tony, the one caveat, and it came back a lot with his coaches when I talked to them, he's too nice on the ice. He's way too nice. So he's going to have to be a bit more mean, a bit more physical. That might not be naturally ingrained in his game, but he's going to have to find it because that's the word on him. He gets pushed around a bit and he has size. I mean, he can't play that game, but he has to find a way for him to have that part of the game come more naturally.
We saw that when the Canadiens played, who was it? I believe it was the Pittsburgh Penguins. Was it the Pittsburgh Penguins? And Ivan Demidov got hit a couple of times. The first time that he got hit.
You mean the Maple Leafs, I think.
It was
the first game when they
it was
Weber.
It was the Maple Leafs, correct? Pardon me, it was the Maple Leafs.
Weber rocked Demidov open ice.
Yeah.
Nobody did anything, I think. Oh, but yeah, it happened against Pittsburgh as well. That was the first game of preseason, right? So it happened a couple of times in both of these games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was versus Pittsburgh. He got knocked behind the net. Yes. Was it not who was it? Was it Clifton or something? Because the second time was Robbie Fabry.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, so when he got knocked the first time and he dropped to the ice, Kapanen was in the vicinity, like he was just a couple of feet away, and he was a little shy.
Yeah. And
he wasn't interested to go into and say, hey, you know what? You can't do that to my player.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I like the player, but I didn't like that. And you know what? Noah Dobson, he's not a physical player at all, even though he's tall. But when something happened to Demidov later in the game, he did something. Even though that's not part of his game. That's what pack mentality is.
It was Connor
Clifton. It's not in your
Clifton.
game. You have to do something.
Yeah, it was Connor Clifton. I remember now. It was Connor Clifton. Yeah, and it happened. Like I said, the second time it happened, and it was Robbie Fabry. Josh Anderson went to Demidov's defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And even Dobson did it later. So you want to have a pack mentality. And even though Kapanen is not going to rock guys, just shove your glove in his face. Just do something. I mean, and he's gonna learn. He's gonna learn that. But yeah, the word goes around in the NHL, and if in the NHL it's known that this guy doesn't like to play physical, well, they're gonna play physical against him. That's how it works.
Let's end with defense. Jayden Struble last year, out of all the regular defensemen the Canadiens had, I believe he had the second least ice time, 20 seconds more than Arbor Jackeye. I think it was 14:55 to 14:35, something like that. It was about 20 seconds. But Jackeye played more games in the regular season. But Struble, I think, played the last 10 of the regular season, started the playoffs with the Canadiens. Jackeye ended up coming in as of game 3. They show up to camp. We see a thinner, not thinner, but a less body fat Arbor Jackeye.
Yeah.
A quicker feet Arbor Jackeye, a more mobile Arbor Jackeye, making better decisions with the puck Arbor Jackeye. But Jayden Struble's been good too. But based on the defense pairings, Matheson with Dobson, Gooley with Hudson, Jackeye with Carrier, it looks like right now Jayden Struble's the number 7.
And you know what? It's such a shame. It's such a shame to have him as a number 7.
I agree with you. It's a shame because we can discuss his market value right now, but I mentioned to Pierre and Max after the game versus Ottawa, in which I've never seen Jayden Struble play so tough, so rough, so physical, and actually throw a punch like the way he threw a cross check to the chin as well. He was nasty. He also looked like a guy that was playing for, you know what? I want my job. I don't want to let it slip away. I want ice time. I said to the guys, I said, you know what? It's almost too bad that him and Arbor are battling for 6th and 7th, because when they're both in the lineup together at the same time, Canadiens are not a pushover.
They're pretty nasty.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think Jayden Struble has the best floor as a player, but Jacky has the best ceiling. And Jacky, I mean, he's been playing great during this preseason. So he's gonna start on the third pair, and that's a shame because you have a crazy depth on this blue line, man. It's amazing. Like Carrier, he's gonna play third pair minutes. He can slot in as a 4 on many really good NHL teams, Tony. And Jayden Struble too. Jayden Struble could be a 4 on many teams. And each time Jayden Struble has been used as a top 4 D-man with Lane Hudson since last season,
yeah,
he's been great. Like in the last stretch of the regular season, when the Habs were battling for a spot, this guy was a regular in the lineup, and he was playing about 20 minutes a night. This is a very good D-man that could play top 4 minutes on a lot of good teams, Tony. And he's going to slot in as a 7th defenseman to start the year. So this tells you how crazy that, like, I don't think like the Habs have a top 5 blue line in terms of firepower per se in the NHL. They have a top line. They have a top 10 blue line. But in terms of depth, they have a top 3 blue line in the NHL. Just in terms of depth.
I think so, and I think Pierre Maguire would agree with you. And I'm going to say this. For those who are wondering what Jayden Struble's value is on the marketplace right now, I don't think it's high enough to risk losing a great depth defenseman like that. I don't know if you agree with that, but...
Well, tell me what his value is, and then I'll tell you if I agree.
Okay. I don't think another team would give up a prospect, a very good prospect, for Jayden Struble. I think a team would give up a second-round pick for Jayden Struble. I don't think they would give up more than that. So at that point, I'm keeping him around. I don't know if I'm undervaluing him. You tell me. But I don't think
Jayden Struble has outperformed his second-round pick selection. So to me, he's worth a little bit more than a second-rounder. So to me, he's worth a second-rounder and a B prospect, or he's a really nice piece to put at the end of a package.
I'd rather keep him. Because
right now I would too.
It's going to be a great internal competition with Jacky. I'd rather keep him.
And there are going to be injuries, Tony. So I'd keep him also. But if you ask me, maybe next year when Engstrom or Reinbacher is ready, well, that's a whole other conversation. Now, like I don't think Jayden Struble will be put on the market, but teams will call this season. And next season, maybe you're shopping him next season.
I like what you said.
Yeah.
When they're ready, because you know what?
Yes,
I think they showed me and you and everyone, they're not quite ready.
No, not this year. Like Engstrom is not ready. And Reinbacher, well, he's not even playing games. So
Nick Cloutier, I think it was an awesome podcast. I didn't expect anything less. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, Tony. Great.
There you have it. Nicolas Cloutier of TVA Sport. Special thanks to Betway, to Fruiterie Dollard, to Energy Transportation Group, to Bittt Tibi, and to Playground. Thank you very, very much to all of our sponsors. They're the reason why you're able to watch absolutely for free. So because of that, seeing as they're helping you out, if you have a chance to support any of them or everyone in the same industries that they're in, please keep them in mind. Betway, Fruiterie Dollard, Bittt TV, Playground, Energy Transportation Group. Keep them in mind. If you like the podcast tonight, leave us a 5-star review. The Sick Podcast goes Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. And once again, starting this Monday at 10 a.m., October 6th, we're going to go weekdays en français. Le Sick Podcast avec moi-même, Tony Marinaro, en français à 10 heures le matin. inspiré par le numéro 10, Guy Lafleur, at 10h le matin en français and at 10 p.m. in English. Also want to let you all know that there's going to be a card show at the Bois de Boulogne complex in Laval this weekend. And on Saturday, we will be there between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. in a booth. And we're going to be there. And our friends from Cafe Milano will be there with us as well, serving some great coffee and more. Come by and say hello. We'd like to see you there. We look forward to it. Sick Podcast will be back tomorrow night. Same time, same place. I'm Marinaro.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. LaBeat.tb. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.